Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. We have actually some good news finally. It's not as good as I would like, but the numbers are on the up, and this is the first time the numbers have gone up, specifically for Mop, since the mega server merger occurred. And be it is very small, we're still seeing positive number growth in every single category of Classic. Like I said, it is pretty small. Anniversary had a huge bounce back to essentially right on course, but we are finally back above 200,000 Raiders, which is always good. I think that Raiders is a really good metric. Well, I mean, it's the only metric, but, it's looking up, the future's looking great, and, we have a little bright glimmer of hope to hold on to. But, let's dive into the numbers, and I'll see you then. Voop! So here is the numbers currently on Mists of Pandaria, and as we can see, Raiders went up about 1,000 to 1,200 total Raiders, but PvP is where we really saw gains. It is back to 11,000, almost 12,000 PvPers, and that brings the total to 117,000, up from 114,000. So it gained 3k people. That's, it's not terrible, but as I said, we look right here. I mean, since week 4, it has been a steady decline other than the mega server merger, which might have been a fluke, honestly. Logs seem to be counting too. The only other fluke we had was this PvP week where I guess something was going on. Some streamer did a PvP event or something like that. I don't know. Something out of the ordinary doubled it for everyone. So that is, these are good signs to see Mop finally hit a bottom and start to bounce back. Hopefully, these numbers continue to grow. Throne of Thunder hopefully sees some massive spikes and stuff that we can get excited about for Mists of Pandaria. Now, let's talk about the other versions of the game. So, we have Classic Era. Once again, Era is actually going up a lot too. I know there's a lot of people who love GDKP, and they are taking this as their time to go to Era and do GDKPs opposed to playing Anniversary in the state that Anniversary's economy is in. So it's a little protest, but it is cool to see it just steadily rise now that Anniversary has hit that point. This is honestly like right around when Nax came out for Anniversary, and you can just see it be a steady growth. Be it only 12,000 players, it's still growth, and if people are having fun playing whatever version of WoW, more prop to you guys. I really, I don't get it. I wouldn't play it, but people love it. So to each their own. Then we have my beloved Sod. It actually bounced back almost 200 more Raiders. So I guess like a guild took a day off, but it's almost up to 2,600. So, Sod's staying alive, I guess. Anyway, enough about Sod. Let's talk about Anniversary. So Anniversary had a massive crater. This was probably the biggest, most surprising fall off that we saw last week. And I don't know if it was because it was Halloween week. Like, I guess everyone was busy trick-or-treating or something. Most Classic players are dads, so it makes sense. But that's my only guess why we had such a weird week for this week. But this past week, we have bounded back, and it is pretty much right on course. So it's pretty much recovered all those that it has lost. But this was one of the biggest, most intense drops we have seen. Hopefully, it stays above this, keeps, it also has had a slight downtrend for quite a while. So it's good to see it sort of, be right on track with it. And hopefully, it pops back up again as well. But the total, adding all of these together, bring us to 204,000 Raiders, which is exactly a year ago or 6 years ago here in Classic 2019 numbers. And then obviously it dipped down towards the end of Classic 2019 right before TBC, dips down to that right before TBC goes into Wrath, dips down to that right before, or at like week 30 of ICC when Season of Discovery and launched out. Then kind of dipped down there pretty freaking early, and it kind of like had 130,000 Raiders, and then it dipped down towards the end of Dragon Soul to about half that, and then it bounced up to almost 200,000 for Mop. So what I am so concerned about that is most of these times were when it went up to the first, or it was the end expansion. So I would love people to keep playing it. Hopefully TBC invigorates the Classic community. Hopefully Throne of Thunder invigorates the Classic community. And hopefully we can see some growth for Classic WoW, because I'm getting tired of pointing out these trends and sounding like a doomer, because it really sucks. But anyway, let's switch it over here. I want to look at some other metrics that are comparable for you guys, just to give you a gist of where we're at, what we see. We are currently at 5 layers here for Mists of Pandaria, and it is looking pretty good. It is, almost noon on a Saturday, but we will now switch it over to Anniversary and take a look at how many layers we are there. And just, these are the only other measures that we can get. I'll also go and check out Hardcore to see where the people are, because those are the #1 comments that I keep getting, and I want to be as genuine as possible with these population updates so you guys can see that people are in fact playing the game at any given time. So I like to be consistent with it and show you guys as many metrics as I possibly can. So Mists of Pandaria on the NA Mega server is at 5 layers. Let's switch it over to Anniversary and I'll see you then. Whoop. Alrighty, we are here on Anniversary, and if we take a look at the layers here, we only have 3. This is the popular server, the Night Slayer PvP one, and it is, 3 is the default for these mega servers. They will never go below 3, so we don't know if layer 3 is as full as people, if it's full with people. There's no way to tell that. I am on layer 3, and as you can see, it does appear to be full of people, being in Stormwind, heading to the auction house, taking a look at that. But we also like to do a little search here and show you guys the total items. So it is at 91,000 items. That is pretty healthy. Anywhere around like 75k to 100,000 is pretty good generally, and reflects pretty much a good amount of players playing the game. It's a healthy auction house. It's nothing like crazy ridiculous like we might see earlier, as I've checked this multiple times and shown you. But it is still a very healthy number, to say the least. So anyway, now I'm going to go to the Anniversary Hardcore real quick and show you just how many people are playing on that one. Alrighty, so we are here at the Hardcore server, and we open up Nova, and it actually has 5 layers of people playing the game. I mean, it makes sense, because Hardcore is that never-ending repeat content. I actually am a pretty big Hardcore enjoyer myself. I'm on my solo self-found, what I called Raw Dog Challenge, where I played with no add-ons, no anything, solo self-found, and tried to get to 60. I'm still alive. I just, I was feeling burnt at 50, because doing this without Questy is so, is pretty brutal. But 5 layers for the Hardcore server, so that makes Hardcore as popular as Mop, and it puts, we have Mop, Hardcore, then Anniversary, so it's kind of crazy to see that. And if we look at the Hardcore auction house, it's at about 40,000 or 38,000, and they have a mode where you can't even buy anything off the auction house, like this character being solo self-found. So really, really cool to see something like that. But anyway, that is the numbers. That is where we are sitting. Those are all the layers, auctions, additional info you need. But I am shocked that Hardcore is popping off this much. It makes total sense, but I saw a lot of comments on last week's video about that, and so I just wanted to take the time to give it its justice. I don't really have any other way of measuring it. I know the Anniversary raid numbers count for both Hardcore and normal, because they're the same bunch of servers, so I do know that. But anyway, I truly hope you guys enjoyed this, and until next time, I'll see you later. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye. Hey you. Yes you. Are you still there? Well, I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this entire video and making it to the end here. If you enjoyed this video, definitely check out the other videos about World of Warcraft listed in these playlists down below. And thank you again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.